Hi, I'm going to teach you how to build some basic jazz chords using three standard chord shapes, the E, A and D shape. For convenience, we're going to bring all these shapes up 3 frets. Okay, so now it's a G chord with an E shape, and C chord with an A shape, and an F chord with a D shape. So, key to building chords is to understand what goes into a chord, and I don't mean naming all the notes as G, D, G, B, D, G. You should be able to do that anyway, but treating them as intervals, as root, fifth, octave, third, fifth, double octave is much more useful, especially when you're moving chords around. So, we don't need all this as a 6-note chord. We only need 4 of those notes. We need a root note, and we need an octave, and we need a third, and we need a fifth. So we're left with that. To create a major 7th chord, which is the first chord we're going to create, we need to flatten the octave to create the scale 7th of a major scale. It's as simple as that, just bringing down the octave down 1 fret or 1 semitone. Put the F, in this case, put an F sharp in, so now my spelling is root, major 7th, 3rd, 5th. To create a dominant 7th, which is spelt root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7th, okay, I need to flatten that 7th yet again. So now the F sharp comes down to, excuse me, down to F, and now I spell root, flat 7th, 3rd, 5th. To create a 6th, I need to flatten this flat 7th yet again, down another semitone, in this case down to an E, and there it is. Now my spelling is root, 6, 3rd, 5th. And to create a minor 7th, which is the 4th chord in our sequence, I need to go back to the 7th chord, the dominant 7th chord, and I have to flatten the 3rd in this case, to stop it being a major chord, to turn it into a minor chord. So now my spelling is now root, flat 7th, flat 3rd or minor 3rd, and a 5th. Simple as that. My next shape, the A shape, in this case is now a C chord, but still an A shape there. I need a root, I need a 5th, I need an octave, and I need the 3rd. And again, the same treatment applies. To take that from being a C chord or a major chord into being a major 7th, I need to flatten the octave. And you see I've taken the C on the G string down to B on the 4th fret of the G string. There's my major 7th. So now my spelling is root, 5th, major 7th, 3rd. And to create a 7th chord, or a dominant 7th chord, I need to flatten that major 7th, make it a flat 7th. So now my spelling is now root, 5th, flat 7th, and 3rd. And when I go to the 6th chord, it just shows how versatile this part of the guitar is. What I would do is, I would again, as we know, take down the flat 7th to a 6th. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch for me. Still practical, but what I could do is I can go back to the original shape, which is a major chord. I need to add the 6th note to it, which in this case is A. And basically, there's your A. You could find the octave quite easily. So, changing the rules, just in this case, I can play root, 5th, octave, because it's there anyway, 3rd, and the 6th would be at the top on the 5th fret of the E string. Okay, that's much more convenient, especially for somebody like me who's not a guitarist first. And to create the minor 7th, let's go back to our 7th chord, excuse me, that we created. I need to flatten the 3rd, which is E in this case, on the B string, by a semitone, there it is. Again, this chord can be treated a different way. That's quite a nice sound, but you can make it sound better, because this G and the C here, the root and the fifth, quite close. If I move the G up an octave, I can create a new voicing. See, it sings much more because I've created a more open chord. The intervals, the nearest interval to the root note is the 7th now. So I'm basically I've still got the same notes. I've still got C, E flat, G and B flat, not in that order. So I've still got root, 7th, flat 3rd, and now the 5th is at the top. And it's a much more usable voicing. So it's just another way you can treat that shape. Moving on to our D shape, which is F in this case. It's already, all the notes are already laid out for us. We've got the 4 notes that we need. We've got the root note, the 5th, the octave, and the 3rd. So we know what the rules are. To create a major 7th, we flatten the octave. So the F comes down to an E, so now our spelling is root, 5th, major 7th, 3rd. To make a dominant 7th, I need to flatten the major 7th down a semitone. So the E comes down to E flat. So now my spelling is root, 5th, flat 7th, and 3rd. To make a 6, I need to flatten the 7th yet again to make the 6th note of the scale. So in this case I need to flatten it down to a D. So now my spelling is root, 5th, 6th, 3rd. You can tell I'm not a guitarist by the way I'm playing. And to create a minor 7th, I need to go back to the dominant 7th and flatten the 3rd, which is up here, down by a semitone. And now my spelling is root, 5th, flat 7th, minor 3rd. So again, all those chords are completely movable and very basic and really simple to use. And you can find your way around any jazz chart, at least a basic chart anyway. And we'll go back, next lesson we'll add a few more extensions and things like that and show you how to build a major 7th chord on every string and go from there. Cheers.